Roger Chen built two viral consumer social apps, and the crazy thing is both hit #1 on the App Store. The first one, Lobby, reached 500,000 daily active users and hit #1 in the App Store in 5 different countries. No paid marketing, just pure product-led viral growth. The second one, Bro, is an AI companion that lives on your lock screen and floats over your text. It hit #1 on the US App Store off the back of TikTok, but Roger didn't even finish building the app before he started testing it.
So this one is made by my co-founder Leo. It's like a mock-up, but it's not the real app. It's like PowerPoint. Like we use this product called Prototype, and then he just films everything. Like it's just like a fake mock-up, and then see if people like it.
The central problem Roger's been thinking about for years is how do you make online conversations feel like IRL hangouts? Because right now, every video call feels like a conference room and every group chat eventually dies. So with Lobby, he literally rebuilt the college dorm lobby experience. Spontaneous, low pressure, with background activities like YouTube and SoundCloud, so you're never just staring at each other in awkward silence. The app idea was great, but consumer social is notoriously hard. Everything changed when they made this one single breakout feature.
So the feature we made is a
That change was a turning point for them, and once that feature was implemented, people started inviting their friends to the app like crazy. And with Bro, Roger is taking it even further. He's embedding an AI companion directly into the apps you're already using, your texts, your dating apps, your camera roll, because the insight is basically AI companions should not live in a black box. They should live with you in the apps you already use. But he validated this idea before writing a single line of production code. All he did was buy TikTok ads, test formats, and found which user interface of the app resonated with people. Then he scaled the concept with 50 creators on TikTok.
In the beginning, like ads are really the fastest way to get feedback. There's this period of time between you first have the idea and when you first launch. Like that period could take 2 weeks, a month, even 2-3 months. Like that's the most dreadful period because you're just in your head. You have no feedback and you can easily go on the wrong path.
So in this pod, Roger breaks down everything. The exact product-led growth strategy that got Lobby to 500,000 daily active users, why he prototypes everything in his platform Prototype before he builds, and his framework for using ads as validation instead of for scaling. This is a masterclass from Roger Chen on consumer social viral growth and building products people actually want to hang out in. This is the Super Raw podcast, and I'm Joseph Choi, founder of Consumer Club. The members in the Consumer Club Discord and the founders I interview on the pod build apps at a median of about $1 million ARR. In my conversations with dozens of these founders every week, one thing I've noticed is most of them A/B test their paywalls to increase their conversion rates and make more money. Now, most people know that one of the best ways to A/B test paywalls is Superwall. But one thing you might not know is Superwall has a lot of data on the thousands of apps that use their paywalls. So recently they actually put together a tool that takes 422 profitable paywall experiments and put those into a paywall experiment generator where you can upload a screenshot of your own paywall and it'll give you an experiment idea to increase your revenue. You can use it for free at paywallexperiments.com. All right, let's get into the pod. So yeah, you're trying to take up this lock screen real estate, but you need to provide value. And you're doing it in this like kind of lighthearted way, but you hit #1 on the App Store, right? Like, how did this happen?
So it was a lot of TikTok, honestly. So the idea here is that we want to position, like I said before, like Bro is like always there, like a companion that's like really with you, like whatever you're doing, like Bro is always there to give you help, to chat with you about it. You see, like that's a very ambitious vision, right? And the problem with that is that it's not specific. So even though we found like the whole vision like just super exciting, we still need to find a wedge, like a concrete wedge, like a concrete scenario in people's lives. And the wedge we found like is like obviously number one is just texting. So we focused on texting first, and then a lot of the dating app stuff, and then finally some other like miscellaneous stuff like you go through with your lives.
Wait, so is this the main format that you're doing? Kind of like the face reaction and then demo of the product?
Yeah, it's a classic hook and demo. So it's like the hook is a scenario, you need a real person there. Because you don't have a real person there, people swipe away. People love people, they see a real human, they stop, and they see an app interface, they scroll. So yeah, hook like with a scenario and then demo. So yeah.
And a lot of these videos don't have a ton of views. But are you just mass producing so many that in aggregate there's a lot of traffic, or are there like big viral hits that you had?
Yeah, so we have so first of all, like we did like mass produce a whole bunch. That's one. And the second thing is like we do have a few outlier hits, like a few videos got like 3 million views. So it's like really, really top heavy. Like you really don't know like where it's coming from. Like so I've been like truly humbled by the experience. Like the ones I thought that would work just didn't work. And the ones that I thought were like ridiculous, like worked surprisingly well.
Interesting. This was a 7.9 million views. This was on your brand account. And is this you making this video, or is it a creator?
Yeah, so this one is made by my co-founder Leo. So when we made this video, like we haven't actually finished building the app yet, but we want to like make a demo and see if people want to use it. So what happened was like he made this like Leo made this amazing like prototypes. Like it's like a mock-up, but it's not the real app, it's like PowerPoints. Like we use this product called Protopie, and then he just films everything like it's just like a fake mock-up, and then see if people like it. And funny thing here is that like the TikTok audience is so perceptive, and supposedly like this video should be like the point of view of someone texting a guy, right? But then everyone realized that hey, like it's a man hand, like it's like those are like man hands, and yeah. So yeah. So yeah, basically that's what we're trying to do. Like we build a mock-up, and then we first like use the amounts ourselves like the mock-up. Like so every day I'm like an idiot like carrying around like my phone, and I whip out this like little PowerPoint thing, and I just like when I'm on the toilet I just like play with it. Everything's like set, it's not a real app, but just to get a feel. So every time you try that, like you get some new insights like hey, like this flow doesn't work, like it's too long. And then the second thing about having a mock-up is that you can really test like what the people wanted, like just a rough concept. So yeah, we do that first, and then we finish building the app, and we start testing among like family and friends, and then we do like the whole TikTok UGC thing.
I see. Interesting. And when you're prototyping, are you optimizing for what you think will look cool on TikTok?
I want to say no. Like the number one thing should be I should feel good using it, even just a mock-up. Like I think I specifically remember like this story about, you know, I think 10 years ago there was this like cell phone brand. I think it already died, but founder of the cell phone brand is like super obsessed about like the design of a cell phone. So he basically carries around like a brick that's shaped like the next version of the phone, and it's just a brick. It doesn't do anything. And then he just like whips it out and try to points at it and then puts it back in his pocket. It's kind of like that. So the mockups can be anything. It could be like, the flow starting from the lock screen, or it could be the core like talking flow, or it could be like the flow of, swiping in the community feed. So it could be anything, but there's just such a huge gap between the Figma and something that you can tap. It's just such huge tab. Like a lot of things look good in Figma, but it just does not work once you get your hands on it. So by having that mock-up, we reduce a lot of engineering, like unnecessary engineering work, because like we have that mock-up and we already know something doesn't work.
Hmm. That's really interesting. I haven't seen that many people do this strategy before. ProtoPie, just prototyping it before you even make the app. Like, why do you think this video did so well?
So for this very first one, we did buy some ads, because it's the fastest. Like if you
Hmm.
see like the ones in the official account, like we have to buy some ads to get some very quick reactions. Because like the UGC program, like the ones the breakout hits that we saw like lately, like those took like 2, 3 months. And when you're still validating your idea, you just don't have that time. So before we have the app, we just test it real fast with some ads and see if people are interested in it. And then in this process, we gain two things. Number one, we gain like at least one format that could work. And two, we see if people like our product.
That's cool. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I feel like ads are one of the best ways to iterate in the beginning. Like people think of ads for scaling, but you don't want to negotiate with influencers for like 2 weeks and then finally get out some creative formats and then have it all flop after you put all that work into the prototyping and everything. Just plug it into an ad
Exactly.
and see if people resonate. That makes sense.
Exactly. Yeah. I think yeah, like you said, like I think the reverse, like people should be working in the reverse way, right? Like people should so when you're actually scaling, like no ads, right? Because
Mm.
that's like because the more you scale, the more expensive it becomes and no one wants that, right? But in the beginning, like ads are really the fastest way to get feedback. And like there's this period of time between you first have the idea and when you first launch, like that period could take like 2 weeks, a month, even 2, 3 months. Like that's the most dreadful period because you're just in your head. You have no feedback and you can easily, go on the wrong path. So in that period of time, you're just like desperate for feedback and you just cannot wait. Add on top of it, I think we're all startups teams here, right? Like we're all like burning money. And like ads a few $1,000s of ads is nothing if you can get feedback instantly. So this is like the best bet, you can do like early in the product's life.
That's really good advice. I feel like a lot of people are like, especially for like pivot hell phase of
Mhm.
entrepreneurship, where we have an idea and you think it's such a great idea, you iterate on it like a few weeks, like you said, and then you launch and it doesn't work, and then you're like, okay, and then you pivot, but then the pivot itself involves another month of
Yeah,
working on it.
yeah.
um, I feel like just the ads as validation is actually really really smart. Did you make a bunch of variations of this creative to land on this one that you ultimately scaled to like 8 million views, or you just make like one ad and
Uh,
put money on it?
I think we have like 5 or 6 more. But they're not here right now because they're based on a previous design. So you can see like the one here is like the key here is this like little bro on your screen, like floating above the text interface, right? So
Mm.
we decided to make that the main wedge into the product. So we just went all in on this format. But before that, we also have formats that focused on lock screen. So it's like things like, hey, you just got up, not in a good mood, and bro gives you like morning affirmations, and you're like, yay, stuff like that. So focusing on the lock screen instead of like the floating window.
I see. And did you basically invalidate the lock screen concept by putting those prototypes out first, and then it didn't do as well on the ads?
Actually, no, it's those do pretty well too. Like that's actually where we got the hunch that this proactive caring thing could really work. The reason why we decided to go with this one is just that that one has had an like in some of the demos, like in some of the segments, it had like outdated designs, and we don't want to confuse people.
Quick question: is this picture in picture? Like, is this a video on the iPhone, or like how do you actually get the little rectangle on top?
So when you're FaceTiming someone or when you're zooming with someone on your phone, like you always see a window like floating above whatever you're doing. So it's exactly like that. So yeah, it's a video and you just animate it. Yeah.
That's so cool. That's that's such a good idea. That's because and it's very smooth too. You can kind of move it around, but I don't think I've seen people use it in this way. It's usually the self camera for FaceTime or like a YouTube
Yeah.
video or something.
Yeah. Actually, when we made Bro, like the mental model is really it's really some kind of FaceTime. Like you open a lot of these apps, I'm not gonna name them, and then you see like a character in the middle, and it's like, Master, you finally come. It's like, yeah, it's just so. I guess like we really really want to go the other direction.
Yeah.
So like I see tremendous value in companions. So a lot of people are like down on companions for hey for it being dystopian. And the reason they think that is that a lot of the companions out there are trying to like displace your real world relationships. It's like, hey, you don't need to talk to your friends, but just talk to it instead. And I think like two things around that, right? So first of all, definitely like that's not what we want to do. So we want our product to augment your social relationships instead of like displacing them. Like having some kind of interactions with your friends is just inherently fun, while talking incessantly to an AI black box is kind of depressing. We can theorize on why that is, but that's just the case. And I think the second thing about companion is that you gotta stop thinking of it as some kind of like real world friend entity and start thinking about it like some kind of like convenient in between. And what I mean by that is that I think whenever some new tech comes out, uh people who will dunk on it for not being as good as the real thing. It's like DoorDash is never as good as a restaurant. But that's not the point. The point is that it's more accessible now. So I think it's a little bit like that. So we want to really make it more accessible, but at the same time, instead of like replacing social interaction, like really try to augment your social interaction. So that's the thing we're obsessed with. One thing we've been grappling for a long time, and this actually like relates to back to my last company Lobby, is the idea that like when you actually hang out with like your friends in real life, you don't have a specific intent, right? You just want to hang out and you just want to say whatever. And it's about the vibe. It's not about the topic. However, like I think in the online world, especially like when everything happens like asynchronously, it's almost like every time you reach out, there has to be an intent. And what we try to do with everything we do here is like Nomad's Bro or Lobby is that we want to make it so that you can get together even when you have nothing specific to talk about. And that really unlocks a whole lot more conversation.
Yeah. What's the biggest learning that you got from Lobby that you're taking into Bro and like future startups?
Yeah, maybe I can share a little bit more about like the context, like things like behind Lobby, like why
Yeah.
we started
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So yeah, we started it after COVID, and I think like after COVID, a lot of people are like video chatting, talking to friends, like catching up online, and we always get this feeling that, supposedly it should be like people hanging out online, right? Just like chatting, but it always feels less like a hangout and more like a conference call. Um, and because like think about it, like you're in Zoom, you're just like staring at each other, and it's like if there's a moment of silence, then it becomes really awkward. It's almost like people are hanging out in a conference room. So that's the process of it, and the trigger of starting that conversation is also pretty weird. It's like, hey, want to hop on a Zoom right now? Like people just don't do that, right? Let's say if you want to hang out with a friend, you never say, hey, let's go to a room and talk. It's like the friend's gonna think you're gonna fire them or something. Yeah. Uh, and yeah, it's always you always find some kind of excuse like, hey, let's get some coffee, let's get some drinks, watch a movie. There's always some kind of background activity. So the insight behind Lobby is really that like people are gonna hang out online, but it's gotta be spontaneous and chill. Like by spontaneous, it means that nobody should ever feel like they are organizing a hangout. Like nobody should ever feel like they're initiating something. Like the inspiration really came from like our college days, like which is like you're going back to your dorm, right? And you're going upstairs and there's always this like big common area where people are like just sitting there, like they're just lying there, pretending to do homework, but never doing homework. And and there's always some like music or old movies playing. So that's the background activity. And whenever you're free, you just sit down there and people know you're free to talk. And that's why it's called lobby, because literally like when I went to school, where I went to school, like U Chicago, like there's a huge lobby area like in my dorm building, and people are just like sitting there all the time. So yeah, so that's the idea behind lobby, which is, hey, it should just be a place where you can drop in and chat, and when you chat there should be some kind of background activity. So for lobby, it's like people are watching YouTube together, SoundCloud together, and they're playing games together and screen share together. So if you think about it, there's actually a line from lobby to bro, which is you're doing stuff together instead of, just like staring at you in the face and, hey, bro, let's find something to talk about. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. That's totally true. I feel like college is just this magical, spontaneous time that everyone wants to get back to if you went to college, and they're just like, there hasn't really been like a a
No, there has not.
wide scale solution to that. Yeah.
Yeah, man, especially now in SF, man, like every every place is very high intent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then how did this go? You got 500,000 users, daily active users on Lobby, and then what happened?
So yeah, so what happened was we actually like struggled with it for a while. So in the beginning, we did not get like meaningful like quality growth. So what that means is we would have people coming in and there will be like power users, but overall like retention was not that good. And as a result, we did not really grow for like a year. I think our big break came in 2022. Like of all places, like Lobby just suddenly went viral in Israel, of all places. So yeah, nobody's gonna market in Israel, right? Because it's like 7 million people, and but it suddenly like went viral and became number one on the App Store and just stayed there. And all the data is just like super super good. Like I think like the day 90 for lobby in Israel back then was like 25 to 30%. So like super solid. And like the retention in other places like half that. And when we looked at it, like there's only really one key difference, which is the network density. Because like in lobby we do have public rooms, but it's majority like people talking with their friends, and which is very intuitive because like nobody's like outgoing enough to talk to random people every day, right? But
Yeah.
you always have some time to talk to your friends every day. Um, in Israel, um, like the key difference between Israel and the other markets in like at the start of 2022 is that I think on the first day, so we tracked this like one number, which is like the percentage of people who got five friends day one. In other places it's like 20%, but in Israel it's like 60%. So that's the difference. And that led to like super high retention, which leads to even more growth. So that was a huge inspiration, right? And so we know that the answer is really, really to double down whatever it takes to get our density up. What that means is like this is not something that's solvable through content marketing. Obviously, if you do content marketing, it's just gonna be a whole lot more of, like random people without friends. Starting from there, we started to really work on growth features. So it really has to be people inviting their friends through using the product. So we did like a whole lot of things to boost like inviting and sharing. Like we did the common things they can think of. And then we also did some pretty wacky things. Yeah, like one thing I still love to this day is a feature called like group picture. The idea is when you hang out in real life, let's say you are hanging out like in Dolores Park or something, you're just like sitting on the grass, right? And you have nothing to talk about with your friends. And what will people start doing? They're gonna start taking group pictures. So like when you have nothing
Mhm.
to do, people are gonna start taking pictures.
Mm.
And when you start whip out a camera and people get excited again, people are like yay, and then you're gonna have like something to talk about afterwards. So the feature we made is a group picture when during the video chat hangout. So it's like you press a button and then everyone sees on their screen like three, two, one, like a countdown, and the phone vibrates, and then you take a boomerang of a picture. And then people are gonna share it to their like stories, like Snapchat stories, Instagram stories, and that does like two things. Like number one, it obviously gets a lot more sharing out, right? And number two, the friends who are not in the hangout are gonna be like, how did this happen without me? And then they're gonna come the next time. So yeah, so we did a lot of wacky things to get the network density up. And 3 months later, Lobby became number one in the UK, and then Italy, and then Germany. Oh yeah, and then starting from the UK, I think like some people in the UK spread it to some people in international schools in Cairo, Egypt. Apparently those people are like kind of like influencers in Egypt. So when they started using it, like a lot of like young people in Egypt started using it too, and like Lobby became number one in Egypt and then Saudi too. So it's pretty magical. So Lobby is really a tale of, obviously you have to do seeding. Like I'm not saying like you don't need to do any content marketing because you do still need to like seed the users for them to invite their friends. But after that, to scale, it really comes down to the product. Yeah.
That's one of the most insane growth hacks, like product led viral growth strategies I've heard about. That's really interesting. It's like you're combining the IRL experience with the invite flow. So a lot of people do the classic stuff where it's like invite five friends and you unlock some sort of social benefit, or invite a friend and you get a discount or whatever it is. But this was literally just like, it tells you to take a group picture with whoever you're with during your video chat, and then it creates a shareable piece of media, which is the boomerang. You could share that on Instagram, and then everyone else sees it. Was that watermarked? And then like people see the
Oh,
boomerang.
of course,
Of course, yeah,
100%. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
you bet.
And then how did you get people to take the group picture while they were actually with people? If they're on a video chat, aren't they like sitting in their room, like on their bed, like, doing these 1 minute video chats?
I think we have a rule where, every like 5 or 10 minutes, like the button is gonna light up. It's gonna hint that you can take the picture right now. And one key thing about like the group picture feature is that it has to it has to be a shared experience. What I mean by that is that even right now I'm talking to you, right? I can like I can take a screenshot, right? But that's just creepy. That's not fun. That's just like sniping you. And and what we want is that everyone needs to know a picture is going to happen, and then they get excited. So it's not about me taking a picture on my own. It's about everyone be like, it's happening. And then
Yeah.
let's pose, let's do some like crazy, like do some crazy faces. So that's like a very key ingredient. It has to be a fun like group activity instead of like a secret screenshot. Uh, so
Mm.
that's one. And number two is like we do have this feature where when you exit a chat, you're prompted to take a picture. It's like, hey guys, see ya, picture, bye. And
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, and the third thing is like you mentioned the 1 minute video call, right? So that's actually like not the main feature. That's like a growth feature. So the main feature is really just like people staying there, and then when you're free, you can drop in to chat with me. And That's the main feature. The 1 minute thing is more like a roll call. So we talk about density, right? Like one thing we struggle with is, with a real-time product, you not only need like relationship density, you'd also need like temporal density, which is like density in time. You have to be online at the same second. If I miss you by 1 second, the app is useless. The 1 minute call thing is really just a little game that we added on top of that, which is like, at night, at a random minute, the app is you're gonna see like a little bar pop up, and then it's like, hey, talk to your friends for 1 minute, like catch up for 1 minute right now, and then you can join it, and you see your friends, and you go wow wow wow, and then 1 minute's over, the chat just ends. The reason why we made it 1 minute is that we want to make it like super low pressure. It's like, Joseph, I want to see you, right? But I don't want to.
I don't want to
I
talk to
don't.
you for like an hour.
Yeah, I don't want
I
to. I
don't
don't want
suck.
to.
Right.
I don't want to be held hostage. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah. The thing with video chat is sometimes you join the chat, you feel like you can't leave.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So the one thing is like, hey, it's not me, it's a game. Don't blame the player, blame the game.
Right, right.
Yeah.
You need relationship density and temporal density. I guess that's like the central feature of Be Real, right? It's like one
Yes.
picture per day at a randomized time every day, but everyone does it at the same time, so everyone kind of like sees each other's stuff.
Yeah, we're definitely very inspired by B-Roll at that point.
Mhm.
Basically the way they just like forced some kind of like synchronous experience. Because you think about it, right? Like be real, like one photo a day, that sounds easy enough. But the reason why it worked is that when you post that picture, you get a whole lot of picture back at the same time. That's a magic moment. If the pictures just like trickle in throughout the day, not sure it would have like taken off.
So what's next? You hit number one with Bro on the App Store. You did Lobby. You're figuring out all these like human psychology, like social hijacking things. Like, is this all leading up to like a grand idea in consumer social?
Hopefully, yeah. We're still working on it, and but the idea is that we want to make something social because like that's what we are really really passionate about. I think at the end of the day, we just need other people, and no amount of like human like AI speech to text can replace that. It's uh and I think we're gonna take away our learnings from Bro and use it towards a real social app. So in Bro, there's social features in Bro, but the core flow is not social. We want to make
Right.
something that's like social in the core flow. And
Mm,
what we learn from Bro is that like a concrete character can really enforce like the game rules of a very fun game. Like because when you have a character, it can tell you to do stuff, it can do stuff for you, and it can bridge a lot of context in like everyday social interactions. What I mean by context is that in lobby, right, you got a bunch of people chatting in the same room. If it's just me and you, maybe the chat would have ended a long time ago. But if there's a third guy, then the third guy can be some kind of hype man, or the third guy's gonna say like really smart things or really stupid things, but it's gonna like keep opening up more topics, and then both you and me are gonna share more. So that's what happens when you have a concrete character that can like interact with like the real people. Right now there's a lot of talk around AI content, which is great. I love it. Like I first day I got my hands on Sora, I made like maybe like 20 videos, and but in terms of our company, we want to go the other direction, which is instead of using AI to create content, we want to use AI to create context. Because at the end of the day, I feel like when you have so much AI flying around, like authentic human interaction, becomes even more valuable. So, and if we can use AI to get everyone to talk more, that's going to be something that's going to be very meaningful to me personally.
that's so interesting. I feel like the whole timeline makes sense because with Lobby, the context was like YouTube and SoundCloud. Like you would watch stuff together, or even before that, even before Lobby, it was just the college, the university lobby, the dorm lobby, and the context was hanging out, like pretending to do homework, watching TV, and then it's like YouTube, SoundCloud, and Lobby, and then it's like the AI buddy that inserts, you know, just funny things and just says stuff, and then adds more excuses to like talk and continue conversations. So you're going in that direction of like, how can you use AI to create more types of context?
Yeah, like it's like this is not a specific product UX, but think about it, right? In every friend group, you need that one yappy friend who's willing to put themselves out there to get the group going, right? Like that's a pretty thankless job, like when people and like when people go quiet, when people are tired, like that yappy friend's gonna have to like keep carrying the conversation, and it's a thankless job, and now that's something we can offload to AI, maybe.
Yeah. It reminds me of like the talk shows where there's like the
Yeah,
host and the guest, and then
yeah.
there's like the random like third guy
Oh
sitting in the
yeah,
side.
yeah, 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 yeah. Oh man.
I always wondered like why is there just a random guy that's like barely saying anything, and it's like the
Yeah.
same guy every time. But it's like it's just like to kind of fill the gaps. It just adds a little bit more chaos and spontaneity.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, I want to go back to Bro for a little bit.
Mhm.
Because I'm interested like how you actually scaled to number one in the App Store after you validated the concept. So you found this format that's like, you hit 7 million views with that. And then after that, did you basically just go to creators? Because this was your proof of concept. It's like, oh, can we create a cool like new social experiment? How that worked? Like, did you get this format and then just spam this across all your creators and have them make variations on this specific video, or are there like other formats?
So, in a nutshell, yes. So this video validated two things, like the product UX itself is minimally interesting, and it's also already set in a very specific scenario, which is texting. So it validated two things. I think that's when we really started like recruiting creators. And what we did was we tried to get creators from TikTok by searching like hashtags like relationship, and then you go into those people, and then you try to find people like those creators, and then you just like email them and get them to start posting. And honestly, like this process took way, way longer than I thought. Not the outreach part, but more like the getting getting the content to work part. That's actually when I reach out to you and ask you for help with like people to like help with like managing these campaigns because oh my God, it's so much work. It's
Hmm.
like and it's so like when you think about product, right? Like that thing is it's logical in a way. Like like this lead to that and this didn't work, so that didn't work. But with content, right? Like it's really hard to predict these things. Like there are not like rules, they're not. So you just have to try everything. So yeah. I think at our height we had like maybe like 50 creators and then a lot of them stopped posting but so it went down to maybe like 10, 20. But yeah, we and we have like creators like outside of the US too, like in Norway or something. And yeah, so it's really just try and try and try and until like videos started popping off.
Do you remember any of the videos that like did really well besides your own one?
Yeah, like I can send you one.
There we go.
Oh, I just sent I love you to my crush by accident. It was autocorrect and now he left me on red.
Send autocorrect hates me, lol, meant to say something else right now. Blame the phone and laugh it off quickly.
Wow, I love it.
It's
Yeah,
pretty random, right? Like
yeah.
like if we were like to be like totally honest with you, like this is not the video I thought would pop off. So, but
Mm,
I guess you never know, and just getting humbled every day by TikTok UGC marketing.
yeah. 2.3 million views. That's really good. That's really interesting because it's like yeah, it's a good hook and then it's a good demo, but I feel like a lot of apps try to do hook and demo and the demo is clearly like an app. But with this, it almost like is a hidden demo because it just looks like you're showing the iMessage conversation. That's the central topic of the video. And so it's almost like if you don't notice the thing immediately, you're like, oh, they're just showing the messages, like the conversation, because that's what the hook was about. It was like, hey, I texted
Yeah.
my crush, I love you, but it was autocorrect, crying emojis, and then they go to the phone demo, and then it's like the actual conversation that they're just referencing. But then bro is right there.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, bros with you. And yeah, as yeah, but it's just like these like tiny tweaks. So like there are other versions where it's so this one the story is she made a mistake and then bro she's in a panic, so bro helped her fix it. It's a very, very simple thing, right? And then there are other more complex ones like, hey, how do I risk this guy up? Like but like for some reason this one did best.
yeah, yeah. I think there's a lot of people who bootstrap their way to really nice cash flowing businesses with consumer apps,
Mhm.
typically subscription apps. And
Yep.
these days, it's the barrier to entry to doing that is so low
Mhm.
that there's a lot of people that are doing it, especially just in the super well YouTube audience and just like my Twitter audience. And I think some of these people reach a certain level of success and then they start to get bored and they're like, okay, what can I do next that's like really meaningful? Do you have any advice to those people for how to think about, okay, like what kinds of products should I start building that are a little bit more ambitious, potentially VC backed? Because I think a lot of these people come from like very strong marketing backgrounds. They know how to like storytell, they know how to like seize a movement that is really popular and then create a product that serves that need. But then is there like a different mindset that you use to create products that you build?
I think it's a real thing, founder market fit. It has to be something. I think a lot of things can be done super well, but you have to be the right person for it. Like one example would be, so at one point we did try, like in 2023, we tried an app called Super Movie, and it's basically like an AI generated like interactive story app, like think episode, but everything's AI generated. Like you can like generate interactive stories now with just like a few lines of prompt, and then everything's like visual as sound, and it's just like a branching story. And yeah, like that was a cool idea, but like I personally did not feel that much passion about it, so it's really hard to keep tweaking the details. But on the other hand, like this friend I know, who made this app AI Dungeon, and right now they move on to like a bigger version of AI Dungeon. Like that dude is just like super passionate about the world building, like like fictional world building. Like he loves it. Like he can stare at like tech stories all day and not get tired. And that's a person who can do this super super well. And on the other hand, what I love is social. That's what our team loves. Like we love building products that connects you with other people, that brings you joy. It's kind of a founder market thing. Like
Mm,
it's like, yeah, like I think even in lobby, right? Like the metaphor we always used is that like lobbies, like just imagine like building a never-ending music festival where people are just like super nice to each other. You just there to hand, and there's no like baggage. You just like you let go, you don't think, and that's the most fun. I think like the best kind of social experiences provide a kind of like relaxed, joyful experience where you just like connect with other people. And that's something that's like innately like appealing to us. And so it's just so personal. I feel like we've been working on social products for a long time. And we get like slapped in the face every month for some decision that didn't work. But the process of making that, of designing new experiences is just so fun. And we feel like we can keep on doing it forever. But if you make me do some, anime chatbot, then I'm gonna give up very soon. So,
yeah, yeah. That's good advice. Yeah. Thanks so much, Roger. This was a great convo. I learned a lot, and it's great to see inside your mind. I think this episode is a little bit less tactical and growth hacky, but I think if you take the principles and almost like read between the lines of what you're saying and kind of like just get a feel for like how you think about things, is very valuable. Just like the mindset of how you approach stuff was very cool to hear.
yeah, because we were here for the long term, right? It's I think we obviously, like, I'm not proud to say it, but I scroll on Twitter a lot, and on Twitter it's a lot of the like the tactical stuff. But I think at the end of the day, when you're building a product, I almost feel like once in a while you gotta use less of the brain and more of the heart. It's otherwise you just like fall into these like micro optimizations, and then you're just like torturing yourself.
Love that. All right. Thanks again so much.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Something you might not know, most of the founders I cover on this podcast are hanging out right now in the Consumer Club Discord, sharing with each other what's working now for consumer apps. So you can apply to join Consumer Club if that sounds interesting to you. And this is the Superwell podcast. Of course, you got to check out superwell.com. We have more videos on the channel. So dig into those to learn from app founders who are willing to share super tactical stuff about app growth.